Congratulations on choosing an Audi. Over the next few minutes, I'll be explaining its main features and controls, and I'll be giving you some useful tips and advice. I won't be covering every last detail, so if there's something you'd like to know more about, you should either refer to the handbooks that come with the car or ask at your Audi centre. I'll also be covering more than one model in the range, so you may find one or two of the features I mention aren't on your particular car. Every car comes with 4 keys, 2 master keys, a workshop key and a handy little spare key that you can keep in your wallet or purse for emergencies. The workshop key has a little adjustable spanner symbol on the side, and unlike the master keys, which operate all locks, it can't open the tailgate or the glove box. So if you want to leave anything in the car while it's being serviced or perhaps driven by someone else, you can lock it away using the master key and give the driver the workshop key. If you have remote central locking, each master key will have 2 buttons for locking and unlocking the car. Remote keys can also be programmed so that only the driver's door is opened when you press the unlocking button. To open both doors, just press the button again. If you'd like this security feature, please ask your Audi centre. A little tag like this also comes with your keys, which has the reference code for ordering duplicates. Now, it's very important that you keep this tag in a safe place. Whatever you do, don't leave it in the car, as somebody else could get hold of it and use it to order a copy. Duplicate keys can only be ordered through an Audi centre by quoting your reference code. And remember, if you do lose one, you never know, it may have been stolen. So it's important that you tell your Audi centre, because they can program your car not to accept that particular key. Now, with all the doors closed for added security, the central locking system can be engaged by pressing this button. Incidentally, the boot and the fuel filler cap will also be locked at the same time. To unlock, either press the button again or just pull the door handle. Every time you lock the car, the alarm system automatically arms itself. It'll toot the horn briefly. Thank you. And a little red light flashes next to the locking knob to confirm the alarm is on. When locking the car, if you've left a window down or the sunroof open, you don't have to close them individually because Audi have developed a useful little system called automatic close. Just insert the key in the lock and turn it and keep it in that position until everything's shut. You can do the same with remote central locking by keeping your finger on the locking button. You can also open the windows in the same way when unlocking the car. Either hold the key in the lock or keep your finger on the unlocking button. Now, you can unlock and lock the car from the tailgate. You can also lock the tailgate independently from the central locking system. If you do this, you'll find that when you next unlock the car, you'll only be able to open the tailgate by unlocking it separately. Oh, one final thing. If it's a freezing winter's day, just pull the driver's door handle before you insert the key to switch on the heater in the door lock. Before you drive the car, make sure you're comfortable. First, adjust the seat. Pull this lever to move it back and forwards. Then set the height. And the angle of the seat back. Finally, adjust the head restraint so the top is at eye level. Once you're comfortable, release this lever to set the steering wheel position for both height and reach. When you've found your ideal position, push the lever back to lock it in place. The seatbelt height can be adjusted by simply sliding the guide up or down. until the diagonal part of the belt passes over the centre of your shoulder. Then pull the belt sharply to make sure the catch is properly engaged. Now let's take a look at the other controls. When you turn the key, the car checks the coding against its own sensors, and at the same time this light comes on the dashboard for a few seconds. If the code matches, it switches off the immobiliser system and allows you to start the car. The main instruments are first, the rev counter. For the first 600 miles, take care to avoid high revs so the engine runs in smoothly. The clock can be adjusted by pulling out this knob. Next, there's the temperature gauge for the cooling system. The needle should stay somewhere close to the centre once the car is warmed up. The fuel tank takes about 55 litres when full, and there's around 7 litres left when the needle reaches reserve. There is also a series of warning lights, some of which come on briefly when you start the car and then go out again. This one, for instance, is telling you that the anti-lock braking system is working correctly, but if it stays on, you should call your Audi centre. Some lights will also make a sound like this if they come on while you're driving. This one reminds you that you're now on reserve and need to fill up. But if any of the warning lights for the coolant, oil pressure or brakes starts flashing, you should stop the car as soon as it's safe to do so and check in your owner's handbook. Just below the speedometer is the trip meter, which can be reset by pressing this button to the left. Whenever servicing is required, the trip meter is replaced by the service indicator, which flashes one of two possible displays when the ignition is switched on. This one means an oil change is due, this one an inspection or service. Usually the indicator comes on about 10 days or 600 miles before servicing is required, as a reminder to book your car into an Audi centre. After about a minute, the display goes out and is replaced by the trip meter. The light switch is to the right of the steering column. Rotate the dial for side lights and dipped headlights and pull it out for the rear fog lights. If your car is equipped with front fog lights, there are two pull positions, the first for the front fog lights and the second for the rear fog lights. There are also two thumb wheel switches to the right. This one varies the intensity of the instrument lighting, and this one adjusts the headlight beam height. Usually this is left on 0, but you can rotate the thumb wheel to keep the headlight beam level when carrying different loads. For main beam, push this stalk forward and pull it towards you to flash the headlights. This stalk also operates the indicators and the parking lights when the ignition is switched off. Up for right-hand side and down for left. A buzzer will sound when you get out of the car to remind you the lights are on. The stalk on the right operates the washers and wipers. Up for intermittent, slow and fast wipe. For a single wipe, push the stalk down, and to wash the windscreen, pull it towards you. If headlight washers are fitted and the headlights are on, the headlights will also be washed. To switch on the rear wiper, push the stalk forward, and to wash the rear screen, push it as far as it'll go. On the driver's door, you'll find the switches to adjust the door mirrors. And both front windows, which, by the way, are one touch. Just press the button once and the selected window will open or close fully. To stop the window anywhere in between, just touch the button again. The button down here switches off the interior sensors for the alarm system, which is useful if you want to leave a pet in the car and still set the alarm. Now, the sunroof can work in two different ways, slide or tilt. Rotate the knob to the left for slide, and the dial adjustment means you can select any position you like, or to the right for tilt. Finally, on the center console, there are switches for the hazard warning lights, the heated seats, if fitted, and the heated rear windscreen. Instead of the warning light display I explained earlier, you may have the driver's information system, which includes an auto-check system and an onboard computer. The auto-check system continuously monitors a number of the car's more important systems. When you switch the ignition on, it automatically checks everything except the brake lights. On manual cars, it will display this sign to prompt you to press the brake pedal and complete the check. Usually the check ends with the OK symbol, indicating there's nothing wrong. But if a fault is found or maintenance is required, the appropriate symbol will appear in the display and you will hear a warning sound. Depending on the priority of the warning, the symbol will be either red or yellow. Red symbols are accompanied by 3 chimes. And you must stop the car as soon as it's safe to do so. Further advice on the fault can be obtained by either pressing the test button, or for a fuller explanation, you should look in your owner's handbook. Yellow symbols are accompanied by 1 chime. This one means that one of the brake lights is broken and needs replacing. This one's a reminder to top up the screen wash. There's also an outside temperature display. If the temperature drops below 5 degrees centigrade, a little snowflake symbol appears alongside. That's just a reminder to take extra care, as there could be ice on the road. Now, the onboard computer is controlled via the switch on the end of the windscreen wiper stalk. It's actually quite easy to use, and you can run through the various functions in sequence by repeatedly pressing either the top or bottom of the switch. There are 5 different functions in all. Instantaneous fuel consumption, in other words, how much fuel you're using at that particular instant. Then there's fuel range, which gives you an idea of how many miles are left in the tank. This one tells you how long you've been driving. After more than 2 hours continuous driving, the display will automatically start flashing to remind you to take a break. But you can switch it off by pressing the reset button underneath the stalk. This button can also be used to reset other functions as well. Next, there's average fuel consumption. If you want to measure your fuel consumption over a particular journey, then press the reset button at the start. And finally, average speed, which can also be reset at the start of your journey. A preset speed limit can also be set on the auto-check system, which will trigger a warning signal if it's exceeded. There are 2 ways of doing this, and both are shown in the owner's handbook. Your A3 is equipped with the concert sound system. The system has a number of features, including an optional CD changer, but I'm only going to run through the main ones. For a more thorough explanation, you should ask someone at your Audi Centre for a demonstration or consult the separate handbook. This also has the security code number for the radio system. Now, it is important that you cut this out and keep it in a safe place, ideally with your key code reference tag. To switch the radio on, press the centre button, which is also the volume control, and select either AM or FM. You can store up to 12 FM and 6 AM stations by pressing one of the preset numbers until the sound mutes. The corresponding red light will come on to confirm the station's been stored. To get an idea of what's available in your area, you can always try the scan button, which plays each available station for 8 seconds.
Guests, now to the phones, if you'd like to come.
Or you can use the auto store function, which automatically stores the 6 strongest signals on each wave band. To adjust the volume between the front and the rear speakers, press the fade button and turn the knob. The balance, bass and treble can all be adjusted in the same way. The radio is also equipped with RDS. It only works on FM stations and it automatically selects the strongest signal from a particular station. If you want to, you can switch it off by pressing RDS and the little red light on the button will go out as confirmation. Now, if you want to be kept up to date with the traffic, then press the TP button and the radio will automatically interrupt whatever you're listening to whenever traffic information is transmitted. This information is also automatically stored and can be replayed by pressing the TP button briefly.
We're getting reports of traffic build-ups on the M6 at junction 18 and heavy tailbacks on the M52 at junction 4 heading north.
To switch off the TP function, press the button for a couple of seconds or switch to AM. The cassette player is switched on by either inserting a tape or pressing the mode button. You can spool through tapes using the fast rewind and fast forward buttons, and the CPS facility allows you to go directly back to the beginning of the current track or forward to the beginning of the next track. When you press the scan button, the tape will fast forward and play the first 8 seconds of each track. When you get to the track you want, press scan again and that track will play. To switch to the other side, press the reverse button, and to eject a tape, press both the fast rewind and fast forward buttons together. Just below the Hi-Fi are 3 variable controls for the heating and ventilation system: temperature, fan speed and distribution. To adjust the temperature, just rotate the dial to the desired level and then select the fan speed. You can vary which outlets the air comes out of with the distribution control. On the demister setting, all the air is directed onto the windscreen. In this position, it goes down into the footwells, and finally in this position, the air is directed onto your face and the side windows. You can also select various positions in between these settings, and the individual vents at face level are also adjustable. To close the vents and prevent unpleasant fumes being drawn into the car, press the air recirculation button. But don't leave it in this position for too long, as you'll find the windows will begin to steam up. If your car is equipped with electronic climate control, you'll have a panel like this instead. As the name suggests, it automatically regulates the fan speed, direction and temperature, provided the auto button is selected. You select the interior temperature via the plus and minus buttons. This button is for the windscreen demister, and when the engine's running, this button switches the cooler on. You can also operate the system manually and choose your own fan speed and the direction of the air, similar to the standard heating and ventilation system. This button recirculates the air inside the car and prevents fumes getting in from outside, but don't leave it in this position for too long. If the windows begin to mist up, then either press the button again to switch it off or press the demister button. Now, I prefer the temperature in Fahrenheit, so I usually reset the system. First, press the air recirculation button, then, whilst holding it down, briefly press the plus button on the temperature gauge. 71 degrees, that's more like it. Now, on a hot day, you may be tempted to run the air conditioning with the window down or the sunroof open, but this will reduce its efficiency. You may also notice a pool of water under the car after you've parked it for a while. It's quite normal and is due to ice melting from the outside of the cooler. Now, there are some minor maintenance and several safety features you should be aware of. Let's start by taking a look under the bonnet. The release catch is in the footwell. The bonnet can't be fully opened until the safety catch is released. 2 things you should check on a regular basis are the windscreen washer container here and the engine oil dipstick. If you do need to top up the oil, the filler cap is here on the engine cover. When it comes to filling up, push the right-hand side of the flap and hook the cap over the edge. You'll also find the recommended tyre pressures listed here. But if you are checking the tyre pressures, don't forget the spare wheel. You'll find that under the luggage compartment floor, along with the toolkit and the jack. You'll also have a special locking nut in the toolkit like this, which has to be used to undo the anti-theft wheel bolts. But if you are changing a wheel, it's important that you read the relevant section in the owner's handbook, as there are a number of safety precautions you should be aware of. You'll also need to put out the warning triangle, which stows away neatly on the inside lip of the luggage compartment. You can also remove the luggage compartment cover by unhooking the two stays and pulling the cover sharply towards you. If your car has split rear seats, to fold them down, first remove the head restraint, then pull the strap under the seat cushion and lift it, slide the seat cushion forward, and finally release the catch on top of the backrest. Remember, if you're carrying large loads, put the heavy items as far forward as possible, and there are also 4 fastening rings which you can use to tie items down. When you put the seats back, make sure the catch on top of the backrest is properly engaged. And finally, moving round to the front, the fuse box is located here. All the various fuses are listed, and there are 2 spares. If you'd like to know more about the various maintenance items I've shown you, you'll find a very helpful section in your owner's handbook. I think I've covered just about everything on your car, but there's also a wide choice of accessories. Now, I'll bet you're thinking here comes the sales pitch, but actually there are good reasons for buying accessories from your Audi centre. All of them have been rigorously tested by Audi, and in many cases they're designed specifically for your car. You may want to upgrade your alarm system for one which offers a higher degree of security. In the case of accessories that you fit yourself, another important reason for buying them from your Audi centre is that they can show you the correct way to fit them. This is particularly important in the case of child seats, where roadside checks by the police and the RAC have shown that as many as 2 out of 3 are incorrectly fitted. And please remember, if you're going to put a child seat in the front passenger seat, it must be forward-facing, as your A3 is fitted with a passenger airbag. The experience and enjoyment of owning an Audi always extends well beyond the car itself. You're backed by a comprehensive customer care package, which includes a 3-year dealer warranty, 3-year paint warranty, and a 10-year anti-corrosion warranty. You also receive 12 months free membership of Audi's Roadside Assistance and Recovery Scheme, which is operated by the RAC. If you continue to have your car serviced at an Audi centre, it'll be free for a further 2 years. You'll find the phone number in your handover wallet. Oh, and whoever's driving the car can use this service. You may wish to increase this cover further with an extended warranty package. This covers tyres and interior fabrics, as well as many other items which may not be included in your insurance. Now, throughout this video, I've made numerous references to your Audi centre. If you've any further queries, they'll be happy to answer them for you. Finally, I'd like to thank you for watching. If anyone else is likely to be driving the car, can you please pass this tape on to them? But I have to admit, however much I've told you about your Audi, there's really no substitute for driving it yourself.